Here we go, kids. Live from the Crescent Moon Temple, it's the morning show with your host, Tolinar. It's time to play the music, switch all of the cameras on. It's time for the morning show and I'm going in alone. Let's quickly check the chat room. There is nobody home. It's time for the morning show and I guess I'm on my own. Cue stage lights. The host, the guest, the audience, it's what I'm here to be. There's no one even watching. This all depends on me. But that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. I'm sure I can get through it all if I do it my own way. Okay. Double check Twitch integration. All systems good to go. One last quick mic inspection. Time for audio. Pick a topic of conversation. Something oh, I got it. Why don't we talk about perception today? That's a really good one. I've got a lot to say. I rhymed. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to. The host, the guest, the audience, it's what I've got to be. There's no one even out there. This all depends on me. And that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. I came to the realization the other day that this is basically Dewey Tonight. Oh well, the host, the guest, the audience, it's what I've got to be. There's nobody else out there. This all depends on me. And that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. If I want to make my life great, I've got to do it my own way. Today on the morning show, we will discuss perception in all of its rotations and forms. And is it secretly connected to God somehow? Such a mysterious idea. All right, play me to the desk. Today's morning show is brought to you by the letter E and the number 8 and by viewers like me. Because, brother, I'm it. Having my morning kibble just like my cat. Oh, good morning, newbie. Welcome to the show. Let me get the volume down a little bit. There. Pardon me crunching away. I've got a fistful of Lucky Charms. We've got a rip-roaring morning show for you today. The master plan is to review perception. This is a very complicated idea. Perception isn't something we fully understand, but it is something we all survive. We almost live through our perceptions, and that is a very literal statement. You see, perception is directly tied to our senses. How am I sounding, by the way? How is your morning, by the way? How is the universe, by the way? I'm stuck in the Crescent Moon Temple. So nice to see someone out in reality, you know? Just pin that. Someone else is alive. Wow. Well, I hope things are less blah for you. Maybe some breakfast, have some eggs and toast. Feel fantastic. Oh, hi, Cat. What, you want to say morning to newbie? Say good morning? No? Fine. Lazy. Cat's a punk. Let's get going. Okay. We'll start some tea, but to do that, we need to filter some water. Because I live in a city where the water isn't perfect. The cat has not a kibble on the floor. This would have to get us to the consequences. Oh no. I have to get a fork and get it dug out from under the plate. Because that's in a place where an ant or something could find the kibble, and then we'd have a billion ants. And I do not want that. That is not something I would wish on the worst house. All right, let's get some water started. This is step one of the tea. The city has a few too many minerals for my liking. And now there's water on my phone. Hopefully that'll be just fine. Get out of there, you. Okay. Definitely need my sidekick this morning, because there'll be actual chat messages. Holy cow. What do you do? What you doing? There we go. Finally got Stream Manager up. Okay. So, this is Kentaro Sato and the Budapest Symphony Orchestra performing Stardew Valley. It's the soundtrack to my life. They're fantastic. And let's get to talking about perception. Perception, right? Here's the thing. We must use our senses to interact with the world. Our sight, our ability to hear. Our senses act like a lens, and all of the things we do in life are focused through this lens. We have no choice but to accept the senses as the root of everything. Oh, are we okay here? What? It's going to what now? It's going to snow? You're joking. Now I have to check this. All right, verifying information. We, Newbie and I happen to live in similar environments. We live, oh dear. Yes, there could be some weather spikes. Holy crud. In fact, it's saying that it might even snow later today. We're having some trouble connecting to chat. I think I'm going to reposition. I like to do this from the bed, but I'm having trouble getting good contact that far away from the... We're going to actually sit up and pretend we're a human being. Instead of lounging on the bed and letting the cat sleep on me, we're going to actually get up. So, perception. We must use our senses, right? And the senses come with certain limitations. Not everyone's senses are created equal. Some people have really good vision, some people have really good hearing. It turns out that there's a lot of different things you can do with your senses, including checking on chat to see if someone actually says something like it's going to snow and cluing you into the fact that it's going to get really, really cold for no good reason. Why? Anyways. In the same way that our beliefs act like a filter, and that the universe passes through it, and that we have difficulty telling apart facts, opinions. It gets very complicated. Everything comes in through our senses. We might be inspired by some vision of the future that pops into our brain when we're sleeping, but other than that, everything that comes in is from the senses and our reasoning in processing these senses. If not for processing reason and the five, the universe is a blank mystery to us. And it runs deeper than this. Perception in particular is special. There are certain elements of perception that pervade all of life. There's evidence that there is something going on with perception. Something much deeper than most people think. It is possible that perception connects us directly to God. Or maybe not. Who knows? Why don't we explore the possibility together? First, one must acknowledge that perceiving the world is required to interact with it. So before you can understand what something is, before you can grasp its nature, you must first sense it. You must perceive it. So things pass through multiple layers of, let me see what we got here. So I am going to make some Earl Grey tea, and I'll add some milk and some sugar and some L-theanine, which is good for your thinking. And I think I'll also add some corn flour this morning, and a little bit of lavender, and some chamomile. We're gonna make a pretty flowery brew. Something about like so, maybe. We will make some tea. Just brew it on up. I'll make a big pot today because it's supposed to be cold. And yes, it's been moderately cold in here. I'm having some trouble getting the house to warm up. I don't want to have that trouble. But if I look outside, oh yes, I can see there is a thin layer of frost on everything. Snow absolutely could happen. Oh, cold. That's fine. It always gets this cold at the end of winter. So, we have perception, which grants us the ability to understand our world. Wait, sorry. Everything passes through perception, and in order to understand something, you have to perceive it first. So, for example, a person who is colorblind perceives things differently and may have trouble understanding something that is not providing the correct information to them. Also, oh, yes, you slept with your window open. That's a little crazy. All right. Well, probably good air in one sense of the word, and absolutely freezing from another. Oh, good gravy. Okay, that might have been a mistake. Oopsie doopsie. Anyhow, the mind wants to perceive, let's say, a red bicycle, okay? Before it knows what it is seeing, first, it must perceive. It generates an image of what you've got. And what's weird is the mind is capable of evaluating what it is seeing as it goes. This is a very organic process. The cones are constantly receiving information. It never stops. It never ends. It's just data, data, data. In order to not receive data, you have to close your eyes and shut your ears. Or go to sleep, and the body will allow itself to become distracted from the data by performing repairs. Even then, you may end up having something catch your attention. Because perception is a never-ending... Oh, sorry, I'm eating a small chocolate bar. Perception is a never-ending stream. Because of this, the body is very, very good at parsing the data that we receive. We receive it in line, so within milliseconds of having detected something, it's got a good idea of what it's looking at. A very specific structure of detect, parse, reason happens. And parsing is where the magic happens. The mind is trying to understand what it is seeing. At this point, we gain depth perception, which helps us to maintain control of our universe. We also begin primary evaluation. In another episode, I mentioned in passing that we can evaluate whether or not we like something before we even know what it is. Something that looks cool and interesting will have those qualities before we positively identify what that something is. An object can look awesome and still be confusing to us, or look like garbage and be confusing to us too. We have learned to evaluate things based on a number of quality systems. And one of the primary reasons that we gain visual data and audio data and all this other perceptive data is to evaluate for quality. It helps us determine what is good, what is average, and what is junk. Quality evaluation is the key to living a good life. So anyone who says that art is a waste of time doesn't understand the universe they're stuck in. Art revolves around positive quality evaluations. And quality evaluations are inescapable as a human. We are always evaluating whether quality is good or not. Quite often we are disappointed by the results, but not always. And times and moments that produce especially positive quality evaluations tend to be standout memories for a person. Times when we remember things were very good for us, all because life had a positive quality to it. And those situations change by person, and they're very strongly connected to what you consider to be positive quality. All of this hinges on perception, though. If you change the perception, you change someone's reality. So our perception and our version of reality are very closely linked. Perception is remarkable in how many evaluations we make in only a handful of seconds. Now, definition is interesting in that there's a million ways to define things. When you're trying to decide what something is and try to understand it, try to break it down to make it more easy and reasonable to manage, there's a million different things you can do. But when it comes to perception, there's only one form. Perception is all about accepting the world for what it is. There's no point in perceiving something and then convincing yourself that you saw something else. Although there is something similar to that can happen, where a person can believe they are perceiving something and it's actually their mind jumping to conclusions. We call those optical illusions, though, or audio illusions. Specifically, they refer to situations where the mind has been tricked by the limited sensory information it has received. And those moments where the mind is briefly deceived are, generally speaking, few and far between, and especially surprising limits. Especially surprising limits. There we go. Let me plunge this down. And then pump it loose a little bit. There we go. Get that tea rolling. Okay, it's all beneath the liquid now. So, it's true. Perception affecting illnesses are mortifying because your reality is affected when your perception is affected. Yes, cat, you're right. I want to perceive cat too. There you go. Have a lovin'. Okay. So, perception is the root of one's existence. And like I was saying, it's not something you choose in the same way you choose which kinds of foods you like and make a conscious decision about what you're going to wear that day. Reality is what it is, and beyond a few hiccups here and there, a couple of bad diseases and other wrinkles, there's only one perception to be perceived. We're all stuck in the same thing. In fact, perception is one of the reasons why we can believe there is a single unified reality. There is evidence to support a single reality because so many separate beings are capable of perceiving it the same. Here's an exercise you can do to make sure you're rooted in reality. Pick up an orange in the grocery store. Smell it, look at it, feel the surface, think about what's inside that orange. Your mind should start to fill in the blanks. It will recognize the object you're holding as something that came from an orange tree, a fruit tree. It's edible, but not the outside, only the inside. The outside will be pithy and bitter. And if you do a bad job of peeling it, the inside can be a little bitter too. Then, pass the orange to someone else and ask them what they see. If they give you a strange look and say, "This is an orange," well, there's your answer. They are perceiving it the same way you do. You can tell them that you want to know what they perceive, and they might say, "This orange has pretty low quality," or maybe it's very high quality actually right now. Maybe this orange is big and full and firm fruit. It's extremely fragrant. Maybe the person has high expectations for the orange because this is a mandarin orange, one of the little ones, and the last time this person had a mandarin orange was last week, and it was loaded with sweetness, and that it's very much worth eating right now. This person could then go on a tirade about how frost causes plants to concentrate sugars, and that makes winter days the best time to eat oranges, yada yada. Okay, that's entering into the crux of knowledge added to perception, which we all do. Here's the thing. We all use our knowledge on top of our perception like an additional layer. We layer it thoroughly. When did you use yours? Well, you felt it, you saw it, it had weight, it had heft, it had a scent, and your mind connected the dots, just like plugging something in. Yes. Well, I'll talk about how to peel oranges on another day. I don't want to backseat peel an orange for you, okay? I'm the sort of person who peels a banana by snapping it clean in half like a brute. People are like, "Bro, that's not how you do that." But if I really want to troll them, I'll take the far end, you know, the nubbin, not the handle, but the little bit, because that's the part that opens easier on a banana. You don't have to yank the stem until it cracks. You can just pull it apart from the nubbin. That's the easy way to open a banana. Anyways, when you hold it in your hand and your perception says, "We identify this. This is an orange." The scent, first and foremost, is unmistakable. We have smelled roughly 4,000 oranges in our lifetime, and that is definitely one of them. And it smells pretty good. I like the smell of that orange. And it can further elaborate by saying, "I think this orange smell comes primarily from the skin. The fruit inside smells different. Right now I'm smelling the skin of this orange." And when you think about what an orange is, you're immediately flooded with the fact you can eat it. Because that's what's important to your body. Your body on a perceptive level recognizes this is food. You can, no, Kat, I did not mean you're going to get fed again. Sorry. The body has priorities. And one of its main priorities is making sure that it eats everything it can eat, that it's being fed well. And so the most pertinent information is filed at the top. First, we receive the picture of the shape and the thing, and then the smell immediately notifies us we sense food. That's something edible. Before it can even tell what it is that you're smelling. You smell it, you're like, I think that's food. Yes, the cat is more perceptive about food than I think that is partly true. The cat has different perceptions of what is food. It's always willing to explore an option, but most of the stuff that I eat does not qualify as food to cat. It merely wants to see if it can consume it before failing evaluation. It's like, no, that's not actual food. There's no fish in this. Hard pass. That's my cat, and every cat is different. They evaluate food in different ways. I'm sure there are cats that eat cheese, that eat this and that. My cat mainly wants fish. It wants the good stuff, and it doesn't care so much about potatoes or ramen noodles. Doesn't give a crap about any of that. It's like, that does not evaluate for food. And that perception is not avoidable. Yeah, the cat can hear me saying the word. But I can't avoid saying it just because of a cat. No, kitty. You getting up here? What have you got to say to the audience? What do you want to say, Mana? And now the cat goes dead silent as it sniffs the mic. Like, I don't get it. Whatever. You are a terrible guest star. Anyways. Fine, you just purr. Go for it. Anyways, the cat is making use of its cat tree, which puts it at eye level to me. It likes that. Anyway, because of the nature of perception, each layer is designed to provide consistent flowing information. And so the information we get is staggered. Before we understand what we're smelling, we know we're smelling food. Especially with complex arrangements. We will smell somebody cooking beef stew and know something good is in the works before we can even pinpoint which one it is. That's because we've identified overarching patterns. Perception is all about these patterns. It uses rush techniques in order to figure out whether it is smelling something good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, let's pour some tea. Thank you. In my case, the scent of tea is so, wait a minute, something's off. My tea doesn't smell normal. I wonder if it'll be more bitter than usual. I might be at the end of the leaves. The very last dredges of the tea are always lower quality. It's okay. It'll still be drinkable. It still smells mostly like my tea. Anyways, perception tells us when we are near food specifically because eating is really important to the body. Here we are. It's one of the 7 great motives, surviving. But the other 6 motives can also easily identify, almost instantly, when things are aligned with their needs and interests. Let me stir that. put the sugar through it. Oh yes, that's a bit bitter, but that's okay. I thought it might be. There we go. Now I'll add the L-theanine and chug it on down. Here we go. Yep, all 7 of the motives are capable of hijacking perception and saying, that's the thing I care about. If something appears to be an especially high height, we immediately identify it as dangerous. That's survival. Good food, after all, counts as an experience more than just survival. And so that's actually drive 6 kicking in, the urge to live a good life more than survival. Sometimes they gang up on you, you know? Something can smell beautiful and nourishing and satisfying all in one go. Because it accesses so many of the core motives, the smell of good food is like a brain hijack. Every single one of the core motives says, wait, we care about that. But yeah, when a person sees something that they consider aesthetically wonderful, it immediately captures the attention. Art and beauty. When a person sees something that's mysterious and doesn't make sense and they want more information, they become curious about it. There again, the senses are saying, something's weird. Quick, figure out what that is. When a person perceives an unjust situation, sees things as unfair, it catches the attention. And people who are envious are all about trying to capture the attention of others. They want to control other people's perception. Although making an envy perception is rare in the average person, I assume that for someone who wears those big blingy jewelry things, envy perception is all the time for them. Here's something about the cardinals. The 7 great cardinal motives, if you follow my philosophy, are the 7 things that guide humanity's behaviors. The urge to survive, the urge to be important, the urge for emotional connections with others, the urge to seek quality and beauty and cleanliness, the urge to explore and understand the world, the urge to live a satisfying life each day, and the urge to be treated fairly by other people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these 7 motivate 99% of our behaviors. But understanding your weak motives gets difficult. Curiosity versus fear. A person who has a strong motive 5 will always feel the curiosity first. Somebody with a weak motive 5 will only feel the fear. They won't be curious, they'll just want to get away from the weirdness. In the same way, I don't feel very much envy. That's because I'm a friggin' genius. I have all the power I could ever wish for. So why would I ever envy anyone? So, my drive too is surprisingly weak. I don't seek to be better than anybody. And it's hard for me to understand how someone like that perceives. People who have weak drives have difficulty understanding the action of people who have strong drives. Now, on the fundamental level, this causes the virtue disconnect, which leads to modern disagreements in society. Because we don't all have identical, let me double check my connection here. Are we still good to go? Yes, we're fine. Okay. because we don't all have identical virtue balance between the seven, we all have different perceptions of reality. We all have different opinions about what reality should be and can be. And these differences are fundamental to our nature. Like really a bones to brisket foundational. So, when people perceive differently, with different virtues, they actually can see a different reality. So while consensus reality is a thing and everyone can pick up the orange and say, oh, that's an orange, there'll be the one person who picks up the orange and says, it's a Satsuma mandarin. And then you'll get the guy who picks up a lemon and says, this here's a lime. What? You're like, no, that's a lemon. He's like, oh, sure, lemon. But you have to understand that in Spanish, the word for lemon and the word for lime are the same. Limone. Perception, you can tell the difference, but logistically, no difference. Like it's a sour thing you put on your food to add flavor. You can eat it, but you don't want to eat it raw. Probably, unless you're real hungry. And that is true for both lemons and limes. Is there a difference? I guess it comes down to your perception. Some people are so granular that the idea of a generic orange is like some form of strange poetry to them. That every element in reality is granular and unique. So an orange is such a strange concept because it's the orange that you're holding. And that orange has special things about it. It might weigh a little more than other oranges. It might have endured extreme temperatures. There's any number of things. Oh man, I'm gonna get snowed on. Well, thank you for the early warning about that anyways. The tea tastes fine today. It's just a little bitter, but that's fine. So, that's the nature of perception. I mentioned that there might be a hint of God's presence, their fingerprints in here. This is a belief held by Pirsig. No, don't do that, YouTube. Get out of there. Get out. Get. Damn you. YouTube always craving attention makes all the racket it possibly can. I want to search Pirsig. I want to make sure I have his words correct. I don't want to paraphrase him too much here. Right. The Buddha, the Godhead, resides quite as comfortably in the circuits of a digital computer or the gears of a motorcycle transmission as he does at the top of a mountain or in the petals of a flower. To think otherwise is to demean the Buddha, which is to demean oneself. Okay, so at the moment of quality perception or perception, let me zoom in here. Dang it. It's not zooming in. Okay. At the moment of pure At the moment of pure quality perception, not even perception, at the moment of pure quality, there is no subject and there is no object. There's only a sense of quality that produces a later awareness of subjects and objects. At the moment of pure quality, subject and object are identical. This is the Tattvam Asi of the Upanishads, but it's also reflected in the modern street argot. Getting with it, digging it, grooving on it are all slang reflections of this identity. This is the identity that is the basis of craftsmanship in all the technical arts. And this identity that modern dualistically conceived technology lacks. The creator of it feels no particular sense of identity with it. The owner of it feels no, hence by definition, it has no quality. Does that make sense? Oh, I lost connection. Well, that has a terrible quality. Are we back? Am I here? Things slid sideways. All right, that's great. So, as Piersick says, at the moment of perception, before we really identify what it is we're seeing, we have a sense of how grand it is, whether it is good or bad. This quality perception, in fact, all of their perceptions, not just our evaluation for quality, but our evaluation for emotion, the ability to sense and make, our evaluation for curiosity, normal or unusual, our evaluation for experience, positive or negative, our evaluation for fairness, our evaluation for all of the core drives happens before we fully understand what we are seeing. We know we want to eat something before we identify what that something is. We know we want to mate with something before we know what that something is sometimes. These drives, these pushes, these moments, they all occur with a certain beat, a certain pattern to them. We lost roughly 1.7% of the frames there. First, we exist, and then we perceive. And then we understand, and finally we reason. Our ability to evaluate virtue can be considered the signature of the gods. We have been designed with these 7 motives very specifically. And it's very easy to see the fingerprints of the deity in what things we value. These 7 motives, each created from a separate part of our existence, are all in perfect harmony with each other for most people. And they all have access to the senses. When we think about logical reasoning and understanding, that's really just drive 5 built up a whole bunch. The ego, the reasoning engine, is an extension of motive 5, the urge to understand, having formed huge patterns and lattices. It's actually just one huge impulse of drive 5 running at full blast. It's the equivalent of the carburetor in a motorcycle. In the same way, our ability to perceive, to understand quality, our sensory data, is directly linked to need number 1, the urge to survive, or possibly, drive 4. If we interpret all of the biofeedback, the signals we receive from the body, such as pain and hunger, as drive 1. That means the signals that we receive in the body, our perceptions, come from a different drive. In other words, where the root of drive 1 is biofeedback, the root of drive 4 is sensory data. So, in our previous form, we divided out the 7 primary motives as having different roots in our biology, where our quantity evaluation and quality evaluations occur from our senses, right? So which one can we evaluate first? Do we evaluate for quantity first, or do we evaluate for quality first? The answer is they're patched into the same stream. I'm not sure I can give an easy solution to this one. The root of drive 3 is the biological stew, the hormones that give rise to our drives, the urge to mate. The root of drive 5 is pattern forming and pattern recognition, gives rise to understanding, curiosity, and reason, and ultimately sparks the conscious mind. Drive 6, our urge to live a good life, is the opposite. It is governed by the unconscious mind and is forever springing forth in that form. So, we have the unconscious mind through 6. We have the ability to evaluate for fairness. That's from 7. We have all these different parts, and they all do different things. It's possible that impulse 4 or impulse 2, or maybe both of them, are created. No, because quality evaluation happens before you understand what it is you're evaluating. But to count, to perform a quantity evaluation, requires thinking. So quality must come first. Quality doesn't require drive 5 to count, but to count is the crux of drive 2, quantity. So, drive 4's root is sensory input. Drive 1's root is biofeedback. Drive 2's root is our sense of quantity, which gives rise to selfishness. Drive 3's root is our urge to mate, which gives rise to our sense of society. Drive 5's root is the analogy, the connection of A to B via quality, and it gives rise to logical thinking. Drive 6's root is the urge to experience good life. And it is connected to our unconscious controls, our habit engine. And drive 7 is the balance between social and antisocial behavior. It is the fairness adjudicator. We will return to drive 7. There is something else to be found here. But for now, I lost my buddy Newbie. I'm pretty sad over that. I think we're going to call the stream. We're about where we want to be in terms of discussing perception. I think we've gone into all the details. And I need to get my house warmed up. So I'm going to go ahead and call the stream here. Thank you for watching. I hope you had a good time this morning. I had a good time. We'll get this uploaded to YouTube. We'll get around. And you guys have a great day out there.